guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome to another Hammer review. Tonight we're looking at Quatermass 2. We've already reviewed Quatermass Experiment, so we're going to look at Quatermass 2. First, let's have a look at any special features. Okay, so this is the main menu on disc 1 of the Quatermass 2 Hammer 4K Collector's Edition. This is the widescreen 1.661 UK theatrical. So these are the special features on this disc. There is an audio commentary with Toby Haddock. There is an audio commentary with Bronte Schultz and John Deere. We have a laser disc commentary with Nigel Neal and Marcus Hearn. DVD commentary with Val Key, Nigel Neal and Marcus Hearn. Legend of Nigel Neal Part 2. Quatermass and the Hammer Experience, Val Guest Interview 2003, Textless Main Title, Textless End Title, Spanish Main and End Title, Super 8 Cut Down, UK Censor Card and Setup. So that is the special features on Disc 1 of the Quatermass 2 Collector's Edition from Hammer. So each disc has special features on there. So they were the special features on disc 1 of this. I watched the widescreen theatrical cut of the film. So let's get into the story. So this film is based after Quatermass Experiment. Obviously, if you've seen my review of that, you would have realised that Quatermass, played by Brian Donnelly's experiment of sending astronauts into space, failed, and one of them brought back this sort of creature. In this one, we have his department is being sort of closed down by lack of fundings and stuff like that, and he is trying to build this sort of plant on the moon, like a space plant with like big domes and stuff like this, and rocket to transport people back and forth for people to live in the moon. That's his plan, but his funding falls through. And while this is going on, scientists in his department are noticing these sort of meteorites landing on the ground. And he goes with one of them to investigate them, and they find these sort of meteorites, but they're not. They're kind of like capsules, and one of them explodes in front of one of his scientist's face, and he gets all sort of scarred up. We see another guy at the beginning of the film who's all sort of scarred up, being driven in the car by his female, and we don't know what this is. And then they arrive and they see that this plant that they are planning on building is already being built by the government in this top secret area. So he recruits a member of parliament to come and to come and investigate sort of like the scene of this sort of like plant. And they go there, and this member of parliament ends up getting killed because he believes Quatermass, and he ends up dying. And there's all these sort of armed guards around this sort of like this plant, and they're all dressed stupidly, a bit like the sort of soldiers in the Dalek films of Peter Cushing. So they look a bit daft. But yeah, so Quatermass is getting too close for comfort, and everyone's. And then it all sort of outbreaks into this sort of like their discovery, what they find that they're hiding in this plant, because they've been told that they are making processed food, but it's not. So what are they finding? You need to kind of watch it and find out what it's about. So let's have a look at any special features. Sorry, not special features, I meant characters. So the cast in this film, we have Brian Donnelly playing Quatermass. We have John Longdon playing Lomax. We have Sidney James playing Jimmy Hall. Brian Forbes playing Marsh. William Franklin playing Brand. Vera Day playing Sheila, Sheila. And we have other characters. We have Charles Lord Pack playing Dawson. We have Tom Chatto playing Broadhead, and John Van Essen playing the PRO. Percy Herbert playing Gorman. Michael Ripper, he's in this film as well, playing Ernie. John Raw playing McLeod. We have Marilyn Stone playing the secretary. Ron Wilson playing a young man. Young man. And a cast of sort of some unknowns throughout the film. And that's sort of like the cast of the film. And the characters are pretty cool. It's a very much of a sort of slow burn sort of film. And Brian Connolly plays the role as Quatermass as he did in the first one, like this sort of American scientist that sort of knows it all but doesn't kind of thing, and he's experimenting with things he shouldn't be messing with. But it's great to see Michael Ripper in this. He's a classic sort of Hammer sort of star, and obviously what's his name, who starred in Dracula, and also Sidney James from the Carry On film. So it was pretty cool seeing some of these characters in the film. So this is my verdict of the film. It's really enjoyable. It's a really cool film, yet a slow burn. I'm going to score it an 8 out of 10. Yes, I gave the other one an instant sort of classic 10 out of 10, but this one I give an 8. It doesn't compare very well with the first one. The first one was absolutely amazing, and it was really, really cool. This was really good, but it was a very slow burn explanation of these sort of plant that's been built and what's going on, and we don't get to see much of the creature until sort of like the last sort of part of the film, and it just sort of lacks something, you know, that the first one did, but doesn't take it away from it being a good sort of mystery sci-fi horror film. The Transfer, I'm going to score a 7 out of 10. It's not the best. It's probably, out of all the Hammer transfers we got, to me it's the worst. It's very dark, still very grainy, and the restoration is not as good as Quatermass Experiment or Four-Sided Triangle. It just sort of lacks a little bit of like a clarity, because there is some blurriness within the film. That might be down to the source and the print that they had to work from. But apart from that, I really, really enjoyed the film. The other pluses of this edition, it does lead on from the first one. Although it takes its time, it does have some good moments in the third part of the film. And it reminds me of quite a few other films, like this hiding this sort of big secret, you know. So it's like, yeah, that's cool. And you can see how it's probably influenced some other films. But it's certainly not the best of the Quatermass films. I enjoyed Quatermass and the Pit. I enjoyed Quatermass Experiment. And I enjoyed this, but this was the weakest of the films. I'm still glad to have it in my collection. Yeah, so just be cautious if you're going to buy it. It is £60, this set. And it's not as strong a film as the first one. But it is still a great, great watch. And a good one to have in my collection. Guys, thank you so much. Hope you've enjoyed this little look at Hammer. It's not a big review because there's not a lot to say about the film, because not a lot happens in it. And I think that's what, with the first one, it was so sort of full on and intense. This one lacks tense, but it just sort of like has a bit of more of a mystery behind it. Guys, go and check out some other horror channels for me. Check out Horror Hands, Horror Geek, Man v Film, RS Design, Pizzlewell, I'm Idol, Cat Watches Horror Movies, Grumpy Andrews, Horror House, and The Maniac. And a massive shout out to my lad. Till next time, look after yourselves, look after one another, and I really hope I'll see you all soon.